No survey of machine learning applications would be complete without including the wide variety of ways people are applying machine learning for social good. In this video, I'll go through these inspiring applications. And as we're beginning the machine learning ethics portion, which comes at the end of each of the 3 courses in the specialization, keep in mind that using machine learning for social good is often something of an antidote for its ethical concerns. Rather than trying to defend machine learning and show it's not harming people, in these cases, we're specifically using it to help people. Social good applications break down into 3 categories. 1, protect. Identify the most vulnerable or at risk in order to intervene. 2, fundraise. Target direct mail that solicits donations for any kind of charitable organization. And 3, greenlight. Predict which project proposals are most likely to succeed in order to allocate grants and other types of assistance. Predict, align, prevent applies machine learning to identify children at risk for maltreatment. In the US, between 1,500 and 3,000 infants and children die due to abuse and neglect each year. Children aged 0 to 3 years are at the greatest risk. These most vulnerable are commonly not visible to the professionals. Models improve early detection and intervention, and this organization conducts strategic planning to optimize the spatial allocation of prevention resources. And this illustrates a terrific trend. Just as typical business applications flag unwanted outcomes, such as defaults, cancellations, and fraud, and respond accordingly to intervene, the same concept applies to altruistically intervening when bad things may happen to individuals. It's another way models serve to basically triage limited resources. A company only has so many resources to retain at-risk customers, just as child welfare organizations have limited resources to protect at-risk children. Prioritizing and targeting resources increases the power of a fixed amount of resources. It's the same business value proposition now applied for social good. As another example, the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission predicts discrimination, flagging which particular groups of people in a specific industry are more susceptible to discrimination. And the city of Chicago models which homes have a higher risk for lead poisoning incidents. This serves as an early warning system to proactively flag as an improvement over the more common reactive steps taken after a positive test for poisoning. The risk scores serve to target homes for inspecting and children for testing and could help people determine safer homes to move to. Extending this concept far and wide, machine learning is applied to flag those at risk of all kinds of unwanted incidents in order to intervene, including malnourished children, human trafficking, suicide, police misconduct, unemployment duration for each individual job seeker, poor air quality, floods, famine, and illegal rainforest logging based on acoustic monitoring. Okay, now number 2, fundraise. Applying machine learning to target solicitations for donations is even more prevalent. After all, any nonprofit or charitable organization does some fundraising, and universities commonly target their fundraising as well. This is the same value proposition as for response modeling for marketing, except that order fulfillment isn't actually necessary. You don't need to fulfill any purchase. But in both cases, you calculate the net returns in the same way based on the cost of the campaign and the income it generates. In fact, the profit curve we introduced in the prior course was actually based on real fundraising campaign data for a veterans charity. Also, in the video earlier in this course on defining the dependent variable, we discussed targeting larger donations by predicting who's a potential larger donor. Here are a couple more examples. Charlotte Rescue Mission increased contributions in response to fundraising campaigns by nearly 50% with predictive modeling. and the Nature Conservancy profited $669,000 by mailing to only the top 10% of its donor list predicted to be most likely to contribute. And finally, number 3, Greenlight. Predictively targeting beneficiaries is a growing practice. In this case, the model targets who to give money to rather than who to ask money from. For example, some charitable organizations determine which development project to greenlight by predicting project success. This way, the organization executes on its mission more effectively. In one project, I helped a program that assists low-income college-bound students to target its outreach to the most responsive and eligible applicants. And in another case, I conducted a 5-day training program for the Inter-American Development Bank, the largest source of development financing for Latin America and the Caribbean, as they investigated modeling project outcome success. Similarly, microloan firms that lend to those in need, who often don't qualify for traditional bank loans, develop their own specialized risk models in order to accommodate debtors, often flagged too high risk by traditional financial institutions. By decreasing the financial risk of their loans that go out to the unbanked or the impoverished, organizations like Mamoni and Kiva are able to fulfill their mission. Of course, I encourage you to get involved with such efforts if you can. Ethical examinations of machine learning ask whether certain applications do more harm than good. But if you're applying it specifically for social good, the answer is clear and the community will wholeheartedly embrace you. Check out some of the machine learning firms devoted entirely to applying predictive modeling to serve social good, such as Predict, Align, Prevent, which I mentioned, the Data Science for Social Good Foundation, or Driven Data.